flock safety is a license plate reader camera system that your city council or your local sheriff votes in, and the argument is, hey, it helps us track violent criminals. The polls I put on Instagram and YouTube were both at about 90% no, I don't want flock in my city. So the exercise, we were going to put them under surveillance. So we went to their first headquarters, no signage on the building, completely anonymous. We go to their drone headquarters. It's a construction company. We look around this entire huge building. Nothing says flock. We started filming their employees, and they would pull up in their car and I'd be like, hey sir, just want to let you know you're under surveillance, but don't worry, it's for your safety. And they were all spooked and they get away, and I was like running with their car. We talked to the flock guy. He's like, you know what, I felt very unsafe. I said, sir, did you feel unsafe because we were filming you? He's like, yes.
Oh,
Like, come on now.
shoes on the other foot now, huh, partner?
Do you think our world is run by humans?
No. If you're asking, do I think that there are hybrids, people who are part human? I mean, every society has always thought that. People are like, oh, that's a crazy concept. Really? Islam, Judaism, Christianity all believe that that is a thing. There are people who I know personally. I'm like, oh, this get a weird vibe on them. I'm like, what is it? But I don't know. And I try not to speculate about it, though some of them are really weird.
Do you think nukes are real?
No. I think nuclear power is. I think there's devastating weapons, mustard gas, directed energy, there's huge bombs, but the evidence isn't there. One of my buddies just goes, it's best to act like they're real. It lowers war because everyone thinks that there's mutual destruction. It's game theory. I'm like, Jesus, dude. How do you invade Iran? How do you invade Iraq? Like, you have to have existential everyone dies from a button, which is classic narcissistic personality disorder. I will kill everyone if you don't do what I say. I think some of these people would have hit the button. They're like bloodthirsty. You don't make weapons you don't use. And people go, well, my uncle for 30 years, I'm like, he guarded a button. Did you ever see a fucking nuke?
Honestly, question everything that they tell us, man. In this reality that we're living in this day and age, it's just best to question everything that we've been taught and told for the past 200 years.
You're able to see in real time this Hollywood transformation and how they get these young men, these young women to fit into the narrative and their agenda. And it's happening. This guy's like a streamer, I think, and he's like now a rapper or something. And you can see how they get into your heads and they turn you into like a satanic asset, right? I don't pay much attention to him. He pops up on my For You page. Since the time I started seeing this guy pop up on my For You page, which was probably like 2-3 years ago or something, to now, it's something that I remember seeing when I was in high school with Playboy Cardi. When I was in high school, I seen it with Lil Uzi. This is what they do. You guys think, like, come on, you really got to think here. Do you guys think it's just a coincidence that they all go down the same path? Like, they all become satanic and low-key, like, zesty? Like, they become, like, a little bit, you know, eccentric in that way? It's, bro, this is the pipeline. They're lining you up. You want fame and money? You want millions of dollars? You want fame and accesses and all this stuff? Everything we can possibly give you? Cool. But you got to be a part of our rituals, our experiments, and you also have to propagate that onto your community and your fan base. But this is what the people want. Y'all want this. This is why these people keep getting famous. Like, that's honestly scary. And so the fact that y'all want this, like, what is that saying about the broader population? This is why it's not going to be hard for people to just continuously become degenerate, even to the point of where they take the mark of the beast and they follow the Antichrist. People love this game. They love this agenda. Jesus even said, and this is the condemnation, that light has come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds are evil. Men love this stuff. You know, when I say men, I mean mankind. They love this. Whether it's just comedic relief, whether they feel the same way, the music, the content, people, they soak this stuff up like sponges, right? This is how they're making people more and more ineffective. Less and less effective, maybe is the correct term.
There are ancient legends that talk about a moonless sky, and when the moon arrived, it caused a great flood.
What are the ancient stories of a moonless sky? Where are they from?
Ancient Indian texts will have it, but also native legends will have it. The earth was apparently just covered in this haze, very wet, very hazy. Then the moon arrives, and all that water from the atmosphere drops down to earth. The tidal forces are crazy, there's a huge flood, and everything just settles, and then the moon is here. And the moon is now like the guardian of the planet.
Yeah, no. You do it, because, you know, I don't want to put pressure. Oh, is it coming out?
It came out.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
If Jesus isn't real, then someone tell me why Jesus is the only one who's mocked. There's many antichrist spirits in this world, but there's no anti-Muhammads, No anti-Buddhists, no anti-Shivas, only antichrist. And the reason is because the devil knows that Jesus is real and he is God. Share this video.
Where the are these Epstein files?
Yeah.
Who the is this? Why is this redacted? Where is it? Who the killed JFK?
Right.
Like, come out with it. What the who killed Charlie Kirk for real?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Why is that story so clouded in mystery? And why did they pave over the ground right after the shooting? What the is going on there?
See, now you're making me in a bad mood.
It's easy to do. It's easy to do. It's easy to get locked up in there.
Easy, Joe Rogan. His best friends and the people around him are going to be really upset to hear you speaking like that. What's wrong with you? Are you obsessed? Are you crazy? Are you a psychopath? Is Joe Rogan a knife-wielding maniac on the subway? Why doesn't he just accept the narrative? Joe Rogan, please just accept the Fed slop. Like I said, no one seems to have less questions than people like Blake Neff, Andrew Colvett, and Erica.
Yeah, I mean, he was only a year late to the party, but I think he's seen all the hate and comments he was getting online, and he decided, you know what, maybe let me try to act like I'm a normal person and not with them. But then again, once you realize no actors or celebrities or really anybody influential really said anything about these files or anything that was leaked in those files. And that just goes to show that they're really all in on it.
There is a company keeping over 700 brains in a state that isn't quite alive and isn't quite dead, and the only thing keeping them from waking up is a drug. It's called Bexorg. They take brains from people who recently died, hook them to machines that pump in a blood substitute, and then restart their basic chemistry. I'm talking about the metabolism, the cellular activity, so the brain is in a sense running again. They use these brains to test drugs for diseases like Alzheimer's, and honestly, it could cut years off finding real cures. But here's the detail that should stop you cold. To make sure the brain doesn't actually start firing and flicker towards any kind of awareness, they keep it sedated on anesthesia. Let that sink in. The line between a research tool and something waking up in the dark with no eyes, no body, no way to even scream is a steady drip of a sedative. We built a place that is neither life nor death, and we manage it chemically. And the scariest question isn't whether if we should do this or not. It's what happens if one of these things wake up. If you want to stay updated on more dystopian tech news, then sign up for my free newsletter through the link in my bio. But as always, think about it, let me know what you think, follow me.
So like, is it really aware if it doesn't have a face, eyes, nose, mouth, ears? What is it aware of? Is it just like memories that are being withheld in there? Like, I wonder how that really works. And I know I mentioned Black Mirror a lot, but that's literally the road we're going down.
Take a look at this right here. What does that look like to you? That looks like a dragon. It looks like it's curled over. Everything about it looks like a dragon. Now, let's go over what we know. We know that media don't be telling the truth. We know that Jim Carrey was not Jim Carrey. We know about the disclosure of practices in secret. So what else has been hidden? It's time to question everything while being tethered to the scriptures for the illumination of Christ and understanding who really is in control of the world to try to stop the Lord Jesus Christ. That's for real. Once you understand that, you understand everything.
Behind me, you can see one of 17 alien-based caves, which enters into what we are almost 99% sure is the entry point to Agartha, the Hollow Earth. This underground civilization, said to exist within the Earth's core, was first discovered by one of Christopher Columbus's disgruntled cronies. His former co-captain, Shepard Charlemagne, allegedly led an expedition 13 miles into this exact Antarctic snow cave on the night of April 30th, 1886. He claimed to find a mythical subterranean kingdom inhabited by enlightened lizard-like beings. Today, this so-called Hollow Earth, aka Agartha, is rumored to be a preferred vacation destination for the global.
I know a lot of people looked at Oliver like he was a troll, or he was trolling most of the time. Maybe he was bullshitting, maybe he wasn't. But it's just a strange thing to bullshit about.
Oh,
Oh, this is why Starlink shut it down. Antarctica? I thought there was supposed to be snow everywhere. And the penguins there too. Look at the penguins. Remnants of an old race. But that looked like green lands to me. It don't look that cold. They're lying. Go look at the Ouroboros maps. They got Antarctica depicted. No snow. No snow, no snow. Niggas don't want it. Here's another map. No snow in Antarctica. So, why we can't view what's going on there? Why all our life we thought Antarctica was just this big snow region, right? That nobody could go to. But there's a pact on all governments and all worlds and all world leaders that say that, hey, we don't cross Antarctica. Here's another map. This is a modern map of how Antarctica look without snow, I guess. And they say this is a rare picture. But I guess this one's CGI, right? A CGI. Now we got an inner Earth interest too. Oh man, and why is that like? Don't that look? Now he was saying that's real, that's natural, right? But don't that just look crazy? Like, we know nature have some incredible formations, right? But sheesh, bro, like you would think the whole thing is frozen with ice. That don't look real, bro. I don't know about y'all. That look like it's like a freeze gun. Pew! Like I felt like you was trying to run. Pew! Hit you with one of them specters and it froze half the land like I'm playing Destiny 2.
We've been lied to the past 200 years about damn near everything. Do people really still think that there's just nothing going on out there? And a lot of those entrances look pretty crazy too.
Oh yeah, guys, it's just a conspiracy theory. There's no way that giants used to exist. The Bible definitely wasn't telling us the truth, and the Satanists that control this world are definitely being truthful about the real origins of humanity. These stairs were definitely built for us, 100%. That's certainly not a petrified giant. This doorway was absolutely built for the average human. We just had to jump up there and get a ladder for that latch, that's all. This is just a simple rock formation, guys. No way that these were the Titan's swords. Just a rock formation, not a giant tree. The Book of Enoch, which was removed from the Bible, was just deceiving us, saying that, God sent the fallen angels to cut down all the giant trees. That's why we always see flat mountaintops, water running from them, because the roots are still connected to the ground. It makes sense. The more you wake up, the more you just realize that everything that they've been telling us since we were born, everything, head to toe, is a lie. They do this because they don't want you to know how powerful our ancient ancestors were, where we came from. And they just want you to feel insignificant, that there's no meaning to life. It's all a big coincidence, this Big Bang theory, and we're just here to slave in their system. Don't ask questions, guys. But when you start to see the truth, the evidence of a much deeper past is so obvious. They desperately do not want you to figure this out. This is why they fluoridate the water supply. They spray our food with harmful chemicals. They spray our air with harmful heavy metals, all to keep us in a lowered state of consciousness, a low state of vibration, so we don't see the truth.
They're pulling a Hunger Games style 2026 draft, where your age bracket gets all your birthdays pooled in to this lottery system, and then they pick a specific day for your age bracket. All of you who are 21 who share the same birthday, like December 3rd, all have to go together to fight for our greatest ally. And although women do go after men, women are not necessarily exempt from the draft anymore. So that equality is now officially coming into play. LGBTQ, immigrants, ADHD, college students, all of you are equally accepted for the draft. People older than 26 will be for far later rounds, but it's on the table if they run out of young people. One of the only ways women can get around the draft is by getting pregnant. So now might be the time to, select a guy that you think has good genes to maybe just have in your back pocket. Because remember, Iran is a mountain fortress full of experienced military personnel who are funded by Russia and China via intel and technology, deep underground bunkers, missiles, and drones. It's not the same thing as Afghanistan or Iraq.
If this is real, the next world war will be so terrifying. Like boots on the ground combat in 2026 or 2027, any year beyond 2026 is just going to be brutal. Drones, airstrikes. Like you would think that the technology's advanced enough to the point where we don't even need boots on the ground anymore. But no, they need people to lead to the slaughter, They want to get rid of as much of us as they can. as quick as they can. That's why there's no exceptions. ADHD, any sort of minor disabilities, you're still qualify.
There are portals everywhere for those with eyes to see, and the Grand Canyon itself is actually believed to be a portal. The Grand Canyon is home to many native tribes like the Havasupai, the Hualapai, the Apache, Navajo, and the Hopi, who actually have a myth that they descend from the third world through a portal that they came through in the Grand Canyon into the fourth world. Now, of course, historically, this could be indicative of an actual remembered migration, which is not very common in indigenous mythologies, but this idea of coming from a first, a second, a third world where they had to leave because they had become corrupt, spiritually devoid, immoral, and needed a spiritual restart could be indicative of their move from one place to the next. Or it could actually be a portal, and I believe that this is the case. And this is why we needed to come through the Grand Canyon on our journey into our new world. And if you feel like your life is lacking in some degree, if you are feeling spiritually devoid, or like you just need a fresh start, all you have to do is find a portal, and they can be found anywhere. You just have to look for them.
I know this video is in 2024, but I wonder how long data centers really been a concept or a thing, and how long they might have actually been out there before being released to the public. Because you know how they're always working on stuff and doing things behind the scenes before they officially release it to the public. Like, I wonder if they had one in progress and one station somewhere before we even knew about the whole thing.
The weird thing is, every scientist that I know that's studying DMT, not one of them thinks it's a hallucination.
What do they think it is?
I think the more familiar someone is with DMT, the less certain they are about what the hell's going on. But everyone, literally everyone who uses DMT pretty much goes to the same exact places. And they all meet the same entities, the same 7 or 8 different types of entities. And it's been the same for 4,500 years of recorded history with DMT. And DMT is something we make in our own body. It's an endogenous chemical.
Has it changed your perception of what reality really is?
100%. Yeah. It's so much more real than this reality. It's like, it's so ineffable. There are no words that can describe it, but it's 1,000, maybe 1,000,000 times more real than this, in such a way that just coming back to this feels like everything is kind of claymation for a little while.
Claymation?
Or just fake, like a cartoon of some kind. It's just really low resolution. And I come back with no certainty about anything. And I think everybody comes back with that lack of certainty.
Let's take some famous names from Hollywood and see what their ethnicity/religion is. Adam Sandler, Jew. Daniel Radcliffe, Jew. Mila Kunis, Jew. Natalie Portman, Jew. Timothy Chalamet, Jew. Kate Hudson, Jew. Andy Samberg, Jew. Scarlett Johansson, Jew. Jack Black, Jew. Ben Stiller, Jew. Jonah Hill, Jew. Jeff Goldblum, Jew. Seth Rogen, Jew. Gal Gadot, Jew. Sadie Sandler, Jew. Robert Downey Jr., Jew. Paul Rudd, Jew. Andrew Garfield, Jew. Zac Efron, Jew. Joaquin Phoenix, Jew. Ashley Tisdale, Jew. Winona Ryder, Jew. Harrison Ford, Jew. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Jew. Shia LaBeouf, Jew.
It's such an interesting concept to me, how such a minority of people can have such condensed power in such a small fact of life in a very small area in America. Really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they only control everything. Some of them are in the medical field, but I'm not too sure how ethical their practices are, so who knows what they're doing. It's definitely harder for me to enjoy a good movie nowadays because I'm always wondering who's the producer, who's directing it, the actors. I'll see one and I'm like, he kind of looks like something.
The Book of Enoch mentions a secret meeting with the fallen angels on Mount Hermon. A lot of people don't realize that the Book of Enoch is taken seriously by the elite because the United Nations has a literal base on Mount Hermon.
Yeah.
So like
crazy.
when you're looking at these books, like the Book of Enoch, this isn't fiction. They're detailing real locations that the government is involved in capturing. I remember reading this passage in the Book of Enoch, and this is what really changed my walk forever. There was a secret meeting with the fallen angels, and they created a pact. This pact, by the way, it's a real artifact that was recovered. In this pact, they wrote on a tablet, because they were going to suffer eternally, they made an agreement that they were going to work as hard as possible to take as many humans to hell with them. And when I read that, something shifted in my brain. I realized, like, this isn't a joke. There is a literal war against us as humans, and there are angelic beings with a lot of knowledge who are a lot smarter than us. Their greatest desire and their greatest unification is to take us to hell with them. When I read that, my faith changed.
Are basically aliens. Oh. And when you actually look at the science, you stop saying that as a joke. 9 brains, 3 hearts, blue blood, skin that changes color and texture in milliseconds, not just to hide, but to communicate. Each arm has its own neural network. So when an octopus reaches into a crack, that arm is making decisions completely on its own. 8 independent processors connected to one central mind. Now, it will obviously make you think, what if you drained every ocean on Earth completely dry? And believe me, what you'd see underneath would be the most terrifying landscape ever revealed. Mountain ranges taller than Everest. Trenches so deep you could stack 3 Empire State Buildings and still not reach the bottom. Shipwrecks, plane wreckages, bones of things we haven't classified yet. These aliens could escape sealed tanks, and even one octopus in New Zealand was sneaking out at night, raiding a nearby fish tank, eating and sneaking back for weeks before anyone noticed. That's the world octopuses actually live in.
I'm not sure if you guys are too familiar with mushrooms and fungi, but they're pretty intelligent too, like scary intelligent. Like, let's keep in mind, the mold from The Last of Us could definitely be a thing. The only thing that's making it not possible is a couple degrees in temperature. But once mold learns to adapt in a different or warmer environment, oh, it's over for us.
What was Kanye saying?
He notoriously tweeted that he was going to go DEFCON 3 on some Jewish people that had been toying with his life. And nobody cared when he dropped the actual text messages from his trainer, Harley Pasternak, saying that he would put him back in the hospital and he'd never be able to see his kids again. Talk about a gangster threat. Harley Pasternak has got a very checkered past. A lot of his clients have died in suspicious circumstances. He was like former Canadian CIA and then like decided to go be a gym trainer in LA, in Hollywood. And these are handlers. This is a part of the onion of the Zionist mafia. Even when you're completely right, their job is to gaslight you into thinking that you're wrong. Harley Pasternak is the one that got Kanye put on a Site 5150 hold when they drugged him, and he said, we'll take you back to La La Land and play dates with your kids will never be the same. We'll drug you out of your mind.
Holy sh...
It's in writing.
Yeah, they're all handlers, man. Every single person that reaches a certain fame or status in life gets a handler automatically, whether that's their wife, you know, secret wife, secret operative wife, and they don't even know it. Or maybe they do, just makes things easier. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a sibling that you think's a sibling. Like, maybe this is the Truman Show. Because you can't have all these influential people with their own thoughts and opinions steering in the wrong direction. With as much influence as they have, obviously they're going to need a handler to stray them and steer them into the right direction, or their right direction. And there's a possibility that maybe some of these celebrities that were under his care or training were taken out because they weren't really willing to fall with the program. But that's all just allegedly, so, and in my opinion. I genuinely wonder if whenever they froze his bank accounts and all his assets, if that really like bothered him or what did much for him. Because at Kanye's size and at his rate, he's definitely got to have millions or billions stashed cash somewhere, right? I'm pretty sure he's smart enough to realize having all his money in the bank is probably not the move. Because just like that, they can freeze all your assets and damn near control your life just through that. But I also believe Michael Jackson was under his care as well.
Look at what they do in Israel, and look at what they push in America. They ban porn in Israel. They sterilize the blacks there. They fucking refuse to open the borders to anybody. And then you look at what they're pushing in America. Melting pot, black culture, porn, degeneracy. The stuff they don't actually believe in is what they push on us. But if you look at what they do versus what, what they practice versus what they preach, that's when you really start seeing. I mean, that's why in Germany they put the Star of David on it. The moment you start seeing who is who, you're like, wait, all the porn company owners, all these fucking, pedophile rings, all this sex trafficking, like all this fucking fucked up shit, all these people that are pushing the melting pot, all these people that are, focused on fucking racism, all these people that are like pushing feminism, all this bullshit, it's all coming from the same group. Once you see it, then you like step back and you're like, wait, like what the fuck?
Did we just catch Bill Gates dumping hundreds of chickens at his landfill?
Why are some of them alive?
Oh, they smell so bad.
Shocking and disturbing video spreading online. You can see a truck dumping hundreds of chickens in a landfill, and some of them walking around.
I don't see how anybody could think that was the proper way to do something.
We started asking questions, beginning with the Ohio Department of Agriculture. The agency says it's aware of the videos and investigating. Officials tell ABC6 some of the birds were not euthanized before they were transported and disposed of. The state says it has ordered retraining for workers on proper euthanasia, loading, and disposal procedures.
Now, here's a shocking coincidence the media didn't report. The landfill belongs to Republic Services, and Cascade Investment owns 35.5% of the company. But when you dig deeper, you'll find that Cascade Investment is controlled by none other than Bill Gates. You know, the same guy who's invested in alternative food technologies.
About 50% of the time when I have a burger, it's one that's made with these Impossible Foods or Beyond Meat, ground beef. And those have essentially no greenhouse gas emissions. As they improve their products, and they're quite good. I really highly recommend that people try those.
Seems like they're really pushing this fake meat as hard as they can.
I heard a conspiracy recently that the Nazis were a Zionist military operation created to distract from the Bolshevik genocide of 30 million plus Christians in Russia and create enough sympathy for the Jewish people to establish the state of Israel. Once the operation was executed, they extracted all the top military officials from the Nazi regime via Operation Paperclip to the United States and Argentina, which is interesting given that the United States is essentially controlled by Israel at this point, and, well, Argentina, they're building doomsday bunkers down there, and there's a lot of Israeli control down there as well. Not to mention it's outside the blast radius of the Samson option. But what do I know? I don't know shit.
Why don't we see any brown people or black people in the Epstein files? Why is it always rich white people?
Oh, listen. I mean, they're in the Pakistan. How about the Pakistani grape gangs? How about those?
Hold on. Let's focus. You're all over the place.
Yeah, the Epstein files. The Epstein files are a tragedy, and it was mostly Jews, by the way. Jews were overrepresented, like Epstein himself.
You are just.
Is that true or false? Is it true or false that Jews are overrepresented in the Epstein files, Brian?
Okay, so now we're finally getting to why he called me Jew, Brian.
Is it true or false? Is it true or false, Brian?
False that you're an anti-Semitic piece of crap?
Is it true or false? Is it?
If logic isn't consistent, it's not logic, it's propaganda. Don't start throwing the name game and the numbers game and the what per capita race is doing this and this and this if you don't want shit thrown at you as well. Like, I don't know why you would do that. And it shows like inverted, like in the brain Jewish supremacy that's so like, it's so ingrained that they can't even see the disparity. Where the argument is right after. It's like you make an argument, then I make the exact same argument to you, but you call this one racist, right? It's because they can't even comprehend that you don't think they're superior.
Who did Hitler say? What did Hitler say was the perfect human? Tall, white, blonde hair, blue eyes. Germans don't even look like that. Not at all. What did David Grush say at the last congressional hearing? UFO whistleblower. He said the tall white Nordics are a few centuries ahead of us.
So some hippie woman at Electric Forest Music Festival left a full-term baby in one of the porta potties and decided to just leave. Unfortunately, the baby did not make it as there was fluid found in the baby's lungs. And it was like a few hours before an employee found the full-term baby in the porta potty. And can you guess what the liberals' reactions were to it? All of the pro-choice people are out here saying, is the mom okay?
Cryptic pregnancy births. All I know is there's a woman very susceptible to having sepsis or hemorrhaging, and she's not getting the help she needs because everybody's demonizing her on the internet. So until we know the whole situation, let's put the witch hunt on a pause.
No, Crystal, we're not gonna put the witch hunt on pause. I refuse to believe that someone can just give birth in a porta potty and just walk out like nothing's normal. everyone looks down the wipe. Liberals really think that babies are equivalent to giant turds. What a load of...
It really feels like at this point they're purposely doing this just so they can do these heinous and crazy things. When you see certain clips and videos and people's takes on this topic, you realize these people really are demonic. There's really no other way around that. Maybe it's mental health issues, but a lot of it seems demonic. And with the way I've heard some of these women talk about children and abortions, it's pretty terrifying. It makes your stomach kind of hurt. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here. I know this last clip was a pretty disturbing clip to leave the video off on, but unfortunately that was the last of my clips. I didn't have anything else after that. If you guys did enjoy this video, let me know by leaving a thumbs up and or subscribing if you guys are new. But as always, guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.